Hello and welcome. This is Michelle Christensen of One Noteworthy Life. In this video, I'm going to show you a real-life example of how I use OneNote to do comparison shopping. It's also a chance for me to show you some of the features in OneNote in a real-life setting. Now today I'm shopping for a new backpack. Normally this would be the kind of item that somebody just buys without much thought. However, I'm looking for some very specific characteristics, so I'm putting in some additional effort. You might use the information in this video to help you sort through a more complex purchase like a car, computer, or television. Shopping for these types of items can be challenging because you're comparing things that are not necessarily equivalent. You may accumulate a lot of information during your search, which can be hard to organize. Sometimes you need to educate yourself on what you're purchasing before you can really even begin your search in earnest. Now, all of these factors led me to turn to OneNote to organize a complex purchase. OneNote lends itself to organizing a search like this because you can store a lot of information in varied forms with a reference to where you found it. Your data can be moved around at will to make sure it's in a logical order, and any data you do accumulate can be found with the search function. Now, I have to just add that I really dislike this kind of shopping. I'm very linear and concrete, and having to compare things abstractly for me is not fun. Having OneNote to corral all that information is really helpful and makes this kind of shopping less unpleasant. So let's get started with our demo. So the first thing you need to do is to create a place within OneNote for your search data. If it's a particularly complex purchase, you might want to make a brand new section in your notebook. For my backpack example, just a few pages is fine. Later, we're going to do an example of how to use the search function, but when you're setting up your new place in OneNote, either a section or pages, keep in mind that you might want to search later when you name your pages or section, and I will talk about this in a bit. Now, for purposes of this demo, I have narrowed my search down to two final choices. In reality, I've been reading and researching for some time just to get down to two, but it makes for a shorter and more clear demo just to show you my final two. Now keep in mind as you watch this that I'm not trying to share information about backpacks so much as showing you how to organize whatever information you need for your choice. So I had narrowed my search down to two backpacks from the PackSafe company. And if you're interested in my choices, I'll post links in the description. But PackSafe is a company that makes travel bags with anti-theft features and organizational features like tablet sleeves and integrated key rings. My first issue was that my final two choices came from different product lines within the company, and I wanted to know what the difference was. It took some work, but I found an answer on another website called Atlanta Luggage. So shout out to you, Atlanta Luggage. There'll be a link to that in the description. My first task was to grab a screenshot and link to that page so I could have it as a reference. So let me go ahead and show you how I did that. So I have a line up here to put the link, and I will show you how to do that in a minute. But I first want to put in my keywords. As I mentioned, I may have to search for this data later, and I like to have keywords in it so that I can find what I'm looking for. And the keywords I've been using for this project are PackSafe and backpack. So I'm going to click here elsewhere on the page. I'm about halfway down, and I'm going to click. I already have the page open and set to where I want my screenshot, so I'm going to insert screen clipping. Oops, I'm going to have to redo that. That's my video recorder that is open there. Now it's open. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to click here in the middle of the page again. Do insert screen clipping. This is the page I want to clip, and you can see that OneNote hides itself for you so that you can get your screen clip. So I'm going to grab this right here, because it has all the information I need. And there we go. It is right there on my page. I'm going to try and reposition a little bit so that I can get rid of my scroll bars. Alright, so it's a little bit too big for my page. That's okay. I know that it's there, and my scroll bars will let me see the whole thing. So I want to make sure I have the link in case I want to go back and do further reading on this. So I'm going to go back to the page that I was using. I'm going to click on the URL, copy it, go back to OneNote, and paste it up here. And the nice thing is, without any formatting or anything on my part, it is a hot link, meaning you can click it and it will open that page for you. So I have the information I need and the link right there on this page. And the main difference I found out between these two lines, the CS and the LS, is that the CS is a little more stylish and kind of sleek, and the LS is a little more casual. So that helped me to kind of get clear on that. The next thing I wanted to do was a head-to-head comparison on some of the features like size and price and weight and that kind of thing. And for that, I wanted to do a chart, or a table, as it's called in OneNote. So I'm going to come over here to my table. I've already filled in my keywords, pack safe and backpack, and I've put a title, which is also searchable, called Comparison of Pack Safe CS300 versus LS300. So I'm going to come down here and, whoops, I want to go a little lower so that I'm not in the same text box there. And I'm going to click Insert, Table. Now you could, I happen to know that I want a 3x8 table. If you didn't know, just take a guess. You can always add or delete rows later. And there's my table. I'm going to move it up a little bit. And I'm going to put, first I'm going to put the model number that I'm comparing. The tab key will move me over one. And for me, the first thing I wanted was the color. And in each case, I just picked my favorite color for each of the two. And then I wanted to do height, width, depth, weight. I'm going to do that in ounces, and price. And then just to make this tutorial a little bit shorter, I'm going to show you what the completed table looks like. And here it is. So this is everything filled in. And what became really clear to me is that these two backpacks are actually really similar. The dimensions are very similar. The weight is similar. The main two differences were the style and the price. So I really liked having that because it made it really clear to me where it wasn't clear before. So finally, I wanted to look at some videos. I wanted to see how these two different bags looked and functioned in a variety of settings. I'm 5'3", so I don't want anything too big, but I do need it big enough to fit all the items I might need during a day trip. And I want a comfortable but snug fit. I don't want it kind of flopping around on me. Now, if you wanted to capture photos, you can use the screen clipping function I demonstrated earlier. But be sure to always give proper credit and make sure you have permission when you're using information and images from someone else's website. For videos, I went to the PackSafe YouTube channel, and I couldn't find a video of either of the products I was interested in. So just to show you how to embed a video, I'm going to use one that I found that demonstrates PackSafe's security features. So good. I have the page already set up with my keywords. So I'm going to go back to my browser, and I have the video queued up here. And it's already open, but normally I would click this share button. It looks like an arrow, and it brings up all the sharing options, one of which is the video URL. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back to OneNote and just paste it down here. And it pastes right in, perfectly formatted. And I do really like this. Instead of having that, kind of ugly long link with lots of characters and letters and numbers, I have the actual title of the video neatly written. And the video is right there ready to be played on my page. And just to demo that for you, I'm going to play a few seconds of this video. So there, you see how you've got this video right there from YouTube. It's embedded and can be played right in OneNote. The last thing I want to show you is how to use the search function. And this is great because, again, as you're doing this research, you might find your pages scattered or something like that. So I'm going to come up here in the search box on the upper right. I'm going to type the word PackSafe. And it brings up all the places in my OneNote account that have the word PackSafe. This one says recent pics because I was actually recently using it, but it gives you a couple of different options. So in this next section, it shows me all the pages. There's only one, but it shows me the pages that have PackSafe in the title. And in the next section where it says on page, mostly these are the pages I created for this video. So this first one called Pack Safe Comparison is actually the original of the table I showed you, and it's in my personal bullet journal. So I'm going to go ahead and click that just to show you. So here it is. It's in my bullet journal. And what I wanted to point out is it actually highlights my search term, which is PackSafe, in yellow. You can see it right up here in the title line of the page, and then again in the body of the page. So that's a really handy feature. When I click this X to close search, it takes me right back to where I was. So that's a super handy feature, very, very useful to be able to search like that so quickly. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I like to use keywords on all my pages whenever I can because it just makes searching and accessing my data so much better. So I think just in conclusion, I think I've decided on the CS300, but I haven't made up my mind for sure yet. Once I had all this information set out in an organized way, it did become pretty clear to me that the main differences were price and style. Now this might seem perfectly clear now, but it wasn't at all clear when I started my search, and I looked at dozens of backpacks before picking these two. So hopefully you can see how OneNote can be used to manage a complex process of comparison shopping. In this tutorial, we covered how to store information using screen clipping, how to link back to information you find, how to create a chart for comparing items, how to embed videos, and how to use the search function in case your data gets scattered. So thanks a lot for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel using the subscribe button if you want more videos like this. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button so I know you like this. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.